All right, there, guys. How's it going? So today, I think is going to be rather quiet regarding what's going on with Liverpool, just because of the match tonight. Yeah. So I thought I would give you my quick thoughts regarding the last 48 hours and everything that's gone on regarding Ruben Amorim and Arne Slot, and where my head is in regard to the managerial situation now at Liverpool. So to start off with, we've had the drama regarding Amorim. You know, his agent was on Liverpool over the weekend. He then comes to London on Monday to speak to West Ham. And then we hear about his contract demands wanting 10 million after tax per year in a 3-year deal, plus a signing on fee as well, if you believe Pedro the Parrot, who has been surprisingly quiet. I expect that he might chirp up at some point today, guys. I really do. I think we might see something from him today. I thought we've heard something from him yesterday regarding Arne Slot with all that news that came out, but never mind. So yeah, that's basically that. Arne Slot's come out of nowhere. His betting odds dropped, I think, over the weekend. And then all the journalists got briefed yesterday to basically all put out at the exact same time, 3:30, give or take a few minutes with a few people with their tweets and stuff like that. They all went with the same thing. Now, since last night, I've noticed that Paul Joyce, well, I tell a lie there, Hamza, sent me a DM on X basically telling me that he'd noticed that Paul Joyce had changed the wording in his article, where I think it went from Liverpool are leaning towards Arne Slot to Liverpool have pinpointed Arne Slot, basically giving a bit more emphasis on the fact that Arne Slot is the guy, right? But if Arne Slot comes in to be the manager of Liverpool, I will 100% support him no matter what. Like, he's the new manager of Liverpool. We have to give him a chance, yeah? But you cannot tell me, or anybody will tell me, no journalist, no matter what they say, they will never convince me that Arne Slot was the first choice to become Liverpool manager. Now, I think Ruben Amorim could still become the manager. I think it's in the ball is basically being put back into his court regarding his contract demands. You know, does he come down from what he wants? Is there a compromise made there with Liverpool? Or is there something a little deeper that's gone on there, guys? Because one of you guys put in a comment yesterday, and I can't remember your name, so I apologise for that, regarding Amorim's system and his style of play. Have Liverpool realised that it would cost too much money this summer to implement that style of play? Because you'd be looking at 3 central defenders. You'd be looking at Inacio to start with at Sporting, £52 million release clause. So 52 million off the bat right there. We've seen Van Dijk in the past criticising the Dutch national team for playing 3 at the back, saying he doesn't like it. Has Van Dijk basically made it known that he would sign the new contract this season? And then basically made it known when Amorim's become the name that's gone out there that he's not going to be happy playing in a 3 at the back. Is that a possibility? I would never say never, but I don't think it's highly likely regarding Van Dijk. And, you know, Liverpool are supposed to have done this big data-driven search for a manager, and you'd have thought that his style of play would have come up at some point during that whole research thing that went on with Ruben Amorim. So it's a possibility. But I do think it comes down to these contract demands, basically, for Ruben Amorim. And if he backs down, I reckon he gets the job still. I do. And one other thing I just wanted to go back to regarding this Arne Slot stuff as well is David Ornstein has mentioned a couple of times now that Liverpool are looking for a manager that can keep the style of play that Liverpool have got now and use the players that Liverpool have bought over the past few seasons. Now, Arne Slot uses a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3. And I can see how Liverpool's players, current players, would fit into an Arne Slot team more than I can see him fitting into a Ruben Amorim's team. You know what I mean? So has that been taken into consideration as well regarding this whole thing that's gone on over the past few days? So getting back to the Arne Slot thing, I think I've just said this just now, but there's no one is going to convince me otherwise that Arne Slot is not 4th choice to be the manager to replace Jurgen Klopp. I believe it was Xabi Alonso as number 1. Obviously, he pulled out. I then think it was Ruben Amorim. But obviously, we know that that's kind of gone a bit pear-shaped over there for some reason. I then think, guys, the third choice would have been Julian Nagelsmann, but he's obviously signed his contract with the German national team, so he was never going to be in the running for this anyway. But I do think if that had not happened, Nagelsmann would have been third choice above Arne Slot. Fourth choice, Arne Slot. That's what I'm going with right now. He could even potentially be fifth. Like, is there someone that the team would have rated above him before they've gone for him? Do you know what I mean? Is someone other name out there that we've not heard about just yet in regards that could have been higher up than Arne Slot? I've also seen it mentioned as well that Slot would be a head coach, not a manager. So is Arne Slot going to be a yes man more than an Amorim or an Alonso? Like, did the whole Alonso thing break down because Edwards came back and the structure changed and Alonso was like, nah, I'm not interested? Do you know, there's a lot of theories going on here, a lot of conspiracies you can say. But I think we can categorically guarantee that Alonso was the number one choice. And then Ruben Amorim. I can't back up Nagelsmann. It's just a gut feeling I've got regarding that. Which then does put Arne Slot at number 4 for me. But as I've said previous, the guy will have my full support if he does become the Liverpool manager. I do think we might get a bit of clarity later on in the week regarding what is going on. But let's wait and see. If anything else breaks out today, guys, I'll be back with a video. But if not, I'll catch you in the next one.